Why most real estate investors will quit in the next 24 months. This is an important conversation. You must understand what's going on and why most investors will quit in the next 24 months. We are the three amigos. Dion is out there in Thailand. I think he's in Phuket now. He's traveling the world. He's a lucky man. What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing great. I left Phuket. I'm now in Hua Hin, which is a quiet little beach town. Right. But I'm in a 5-star resort, locked up like a compound for the next week, and then I'm going to go find an Airbnb somewhere.
Rough life. Well, we'll throw it to Matt real quick. Matt, how you doing, buddy? Looks like you're back home. You're not traveling.
I'm not traveling. I've got the next at least 6 weeks off from traveling, so I'm very excited about that. We'll do a short trip, and then we've got all of our plans set for the One Rental at a Time event on Valentine's Day weekend in February. So we're all set for there. We'll be out there for a couple of weeks for that. So yeah, super excited to have all the travel plans ready, but not actually be on them yet.
Yes, very, very cool. Well, let's get into this. Dion, we're going to throw it to you first. Why are most real estate investors going to quit in the next 24 months?
I think a lot of people fall into seasonality, and they look for an investing strategy that has a season. An example is subject to. Subject to works great when interest rates are going up, when they're trending down and prices are trending up, because a lender is less likely to call a loan if it would mean you would refinance to a better rate. So we have a lot of people in the last 10 years who did a lot of subject to without very much issue. They are now the success voices of YouTube University, saying, here's how easy it is. You find somebody in a distressed situation, you take a problem off their hands, you solve their problem, and you get an asset. But now I think banks are going to be calling those, and you're going to see people that are trying out a new strategy that don't have the relationships with the banks or the teams of people to put those deals together. And I think the first time you get a subject to and they call the loan and you either can't refinance or you refinance to double or triple the interest rate, that stops people in their tracks.
Yeah, it's really funny. I think I actually go back to more recent times, and I know all three of us, are on podcasts and we're becoming pretty common voices out there. So shout out the three of us. But I remember going to an event in San Jose, California, where I was the long-term guy, and then there was a short-term rental person next to me. And let's just say I was not treated well, right? I was called a boomer, and you didn't get it, and all of that stuff. And again, it's just this seasonality. I think that's a great thing. I think the beauty about real estate to me is this: like, all strategies work all the time in the right situation. However, the seasons really shine on different things. Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe it was BRRRR. Then it was maybe short-term rentals in the pandemic. And then maybe it was syndication. Maybe now it's subject to. But I think your point about why most investors are going to quit in the next 24 months is they are going to be hearing from the voices that were successful in the last season, not knowing that the season changed. And that's going to be very stressful. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, most people are going forward with one strategy. That's always a weakness, right? And so people are either I am STR, I am long-term, I am short-term or midterms, or I rent out to only this part. The one that's the worst is I'm a Section 8 landlord only.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst strategy in the world. Absolute worst strategy in the world. And you see it over and over again. And what's really funny is I'm surprised more hasn't been made of it. If only I were a content creator and I made content like this. There is a lot of cities and towns where FMR went down.
Yeah.
Over last year. And if your strategy is you're in that market, number one, and number two, worst of all, you're only a Section 8 landlord, I've got bad news. You just got forced to take an 8, a 10, a 12% pay cut, and your expenses are not there.
Yeah.
So I think that there's going to be a lot of quitters over the next 24 months because I think that people do not have the right strategies to understand how to manage less rent, how to deal with turnover, how to go through evictions. These are all things in the next year that you're going to see a much higher occurrence of than you have in the last 4. So if you don't know how to do an eviction, you better get skilled up. If you don't know how to do a unit turn, you better get skilled up and work with somebody that actually knows what a unit turn looks like. You know, if you don't do work outside of Section 8, you better be doing some work outside of Section 8 to really understand what's the real market value of my item. Because in the areas where the pricing went down, it was because Section 8 was the highest priced option in the area.
Yeah.
This is 2026. I'm calling it now. 2026 is going to be the year of the operator.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think what happens is, you know, these people have some success, then they kind of start screaming it, and then others follow without context. And yeah, the operators always win. I'll even go out on a limb. I think the next 4 years is about the operators.
Could be.
I think we've had a season where it was easy, and the easy money's gone.
It is.
And it's funny. I did a podcast with Brian De Villa in Vegas, and he led off with, you know, why is everybody quitting? And my answer is the easy money's over. Yeah. And, oh, by the way, I'm excited. I like the market we're in now a lot better than the market we had for 4 years, because everybody and their brother was making money 4 years ago. That's not operators aren't winning, right? It's access, it's speed, it's those things. Right. Operators are going to win today. Dion, back to you, man. What else you got?
Well, I think this is going to be Zuber, your favorite, because you mention this all the time, how that we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with, and we spend the most time with our phone. That ends up being one of the 5 people we become the average of.
Absolutely.
It's the YouTube doom loop.
Yes.
I think in the last 4 years, people who don't want to help people but want to have a YouTube channel have learned that if you spread fear and doom and you get Melody, whatever her name is, on your channel, you get hundreds of thousands of views. And so now there's tens of thousands of channels jumping on the bandwagon of let me sell fear and the market crash. And here's the new reason 2 days later. And let me change my thumbnail and title from 6 months ago when it didn't happen, and the crash that's coming. I actually think we're going to see more and more of that.
Well, I actually totally agree with you. You know, Melody Wright, obviously, again, I need to own that. She's been on my channel twice. Both videos, oh, by the way, made $1,000. One made $1,100. So she is and if you go into any video that has Melody Wright, the comments, people love her, right? People love her. I mean, just look at the comments. I love her. Melody Wright's awesome. Well, all of that. And she's a very nice person.
Says every poor person ever.
Yeah. We'll leave that one alone. But, you know, her forecasts have been garbage. They've just been terrible. I mean, but I get it. She's a nice person, but forecast is terrible. But to your point, Dion, she was on Thoughtful Money, called for a 50% housing crash. She was quoted in Newsweek, 50% housing crash next year. What kind of lunacy is that? Then she goes on George Gammon. Yep. George Gammon the other day on his interview channel. She is people love to bring her on because they make a boatload of money. It's not about being right or even close. It's about doom. And to your point, I am seeing more people on YouTube take this doom loop, right? I just saw a channel that started like 3 months ago, and they're already at 10,000 subs. And all they do is produce doom every single day. It's a way to pay your rent. Folks, you need to understand that the only person that gets rich watching Jerry Springer is Jerry freaking Springer. His audience is not rich. The people on stage aren't rich. It's only Jerry Springer. So Dion, you're absolutely right. This doom loop, it's a way to print money. And lastly, I did it for 6 weeks and had 110,000 more views, made more money. But you invite people I don't want to be around. It's terrible.
Yeah, Matt? No good. I mean, just, you know, I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm sure she'd be pleasant to have dinner with, like all of that stuff. But tell me how you invest. Tell me where you make money other than stupid speaking engagements. Like
she's got PTSD. She has PTSD.
Yeah. Tell me how you make money. Tell me how you make others money, because the people that agree with her, I bet you if you polled them, 10 out of 10 are not millionaires. I would bet on it. Right. And they're just like justification of their stupid, ill-informed, non-educated decisions. And so that's fine. Like, I'll let you have that. Man, you make my life easier. I'm not fighting to get you in the game. That's Dion's job.
It's not my job either.
Yeah,
you're in the parking lot for a reason, buddy.
I'm not in the convincing business. If you're ready to roll up and you're ready to get things done and you're ready to get a plan and become wealthy, then I'm your guy. If you're interested in debating me on the practicality or the moral hazard, dude, get bent. I'm too busy over here doing. I don't need to hear your theories. And I love it when losers come after me, because that's what you are. If you've done nothing and accomplished nothing, you are a loser. And so everybody likes to think, and you and I have the same ill about getting lucky, is that very often we make our luck. Now, we've also been unlucky. We've gotten bad things happen to us, but the unlucky, I had as much to do with that happening as I did with the lucky happening. I made a bad decision. It didn't go my way. I didn't self-correct, whatever, fill in the blanks. Yeah. But the net is that it is a net good. It is a net positive, and it brings us further down the path. So you can, what you watch. And you can sit there and you can watch Doom Loop for the rest of my time. Just a quick little anecdotal story. A buddy of mine were trying to prank another friend of ours. We ended up spending a significant amount of time on the left side of the tracks in wrong type of content because we were trying to mess with them. And the problem that made for my algorithm was a huge problem.
I bet.
And for a week, I was texting my buddy and I was like, listen, I am doing everything I can to get off the left side of the tracks. This is a nightmarish place to live with constant crying and blue hair and nose rings. I need to get out of this. This is hurting my head. It took a week, and finally it recovered. And I literally just sent it to my buddy. I go, I just saw a short with a gun in it. I am so happy.
I'm back. I'm back.
I'm back, baby. I'm back. So it's absolutely true, but you can change your life in a week.
Exactly. These algorithms are so good.
Yes.
That if you just get dedicated for a week or 10 days,
correct,
your life could change. However, it could also go in the toilet with these doom. And again, to Dion's point, I want to be very clear. More is coming.
Yes.
More. I mean, we used to think that Nick from Reventure Consulting and Real Estate Mindless and all of those other people, like they were the evil, but they now have copycats.
Yeah.
And they're just coming and coming. And again, all they're preaching is no hope and do nothing. I mean, what kind of life is that? I mean, it's terrible. Dion?
Hard pass.
Hard pass. My goodness.
So another reason why I think most investors will be quitting the next couple of years is they have a version of the wrong goal.
Yes.
And there's a couple of ways to look at it. Is the first one is the people who are, I have to get to 200 doors. Like bigger is better. If I'm not there, I'm not successful. Or the question comes in the form of, how can I do what you did, but faster?
I was going to say faster. Yeah.
But faster. Right. And so I think it sets unreasonable expectations. And if achieved, not what they actually wanted.
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think there's so much wisdom in this. And again, I think there are a lot of people that will quit. The other thing that I think about is I'm not sure if this isn't always true, right? We're talking about it today that in the next 24 months, people will quit. But if you were to ask me in 2010, would that be the case? Probably. 2018, right? I had this state. I don't think I've said it in a while, but when you get known for helping people and you have a best-selling book and all of that stuff, people seek you out sometimes. And I now call them shooting stars, right? There are all these people with all this energy just flying around, consuming, and then they're gone, right? They're just gone, right? They're on to the next thing. So it's pretty wild out there. Real estate investors. Matt?
There's a lot of YouTubers out there looking for their next grift.
Yeah.
They just are. They're looking for their next grift. And the next grift is going to be, see, all those real estate gurus were wrong. See, a lot of them were wrong because they were selling you a gimmick. They weren't selling you they weren't selling you the know-how and the plan of how to get things done.
Yeah. And the operator again. Yes.
It's because, and it's also recency biased. They're going to constantly see this stuff. Why would you own real estate when renting is such a great idea? In up markets, everybody's flocking to it because they want to catch the shooting star. In down markets, everybody's jumping off the elevator because they don't want to be there when it hits the bottom. What you need to recognize is that there are strategies that keep the elevator floating. And you don't have to be massive growth mode. You don't have to be, killing it in every way, shape, and form. That's where you take the time. And this is where we talk about acquire, stabilize, optimized. You now start taking your units that are stabilized and you get them optimized. Right. When you go from stabilization to optimization, now your margins vastly increase. You create more money on a monthly basis. And most importantly, when you go to get a loan, they're going to review your portfolio. If you're not doing DSCR and you're doing some other type of conventional loan and trying to create relationships with banks, they're going to care about what you're doing today. Show me, tell me. And if you can tell the story, last year we made 11.2%. This year we're going to make 17%. We're projecting 23% the following year. Mike, you're in finance. You worked in finance. You worked with sales companies and in sales for a long time. They're concerned about where you are generally, but what they're most concerned about is what your path to growth is. Show me how you've created something to create that trend and get that growth.
Yeah. Dion, you got another one or two?
I have a couple. The next one, I think this is going to hit the newer investors, but it can hit people further in too. People that think as they start investing that the first deal has to change their life. I'm going to close on a property and then I'll have money and then I'll have cash flow and then I'll be not realizing that I think the first 3 deals I closed on, I don't think I broke $1,000 a month in cash flow. Like we're talking years of investing for me to get to the point where I had a recognizable change to what my income was. It was around the 4.5, 5 year mark that I was like, oh, I can notice there's cash coming in that I didn't work for this month. But that first deal, you don't feel it the way when people talk about that first deal, when they're successful and they say, this first deal was so life impactful because it's the deal that got me where I am. It's not the deal that put you there immediately and not overnight. So there are people who close on a deal and they own it for a while and they're like, wow, I'm putting time and energy and effort into this, but I don't really notice any difference in my money.
Yeah. When I think about the first,
go back to work.
Yeah. When I think about the first deal, you're absolutely right. Well, let me say it this way. When it is life-changing, it's life-changing for the wrong reasons. Because I've seen people do bad first deals and then they never come back, right? They bought an alligator. They bought out of state because somebody said something. They read some article and then they got screwed. I've known people to lose tens of thousands of dollars on their first deal and they're gone forever.
Yep.
So yeah, when the first deal goes wrong, usually it is life-changing and you're out. You'll be one of those people that never, speak good of real estate. But yeah, if you're doing the right things and you get a, $200 or an 8% yield or whatever it is, it's not life-changing. And you were talking about not seeing any money for 5 years. I don't think I even noticed for a decade.
Yeah.
Right. I think it was a decade before I kind of looked up and said, oh my God, we got more here than I thought we did. So yeah, it's crazy. Matt?
Too often you hear people that want to get out of their job. And so they start creating these false walls and they start creating these silly goals that are unreasonable. And I think that that's going to be one of the things that you'll see people get off the track that are 2 or 3 years in because the rental still loses money. It doesn't make enough money. It's this, it's that, it's the other, it's another $10,000 repair, whatever it is. Right. I would like to understand from the audience, you can put it in the chat below. How many of you started a business and in the first 5 years, it was yielding massive profits?
Yep.
Usually you're the lowest paid employee for the first 5 years.
At least. Yes.
That's the way it goes. And it's at least that, right? It's at least the first 5 years you're the lowest paid employee. So recognize that the transition that you want, if you already kind of don't like your job or really even hate your job, you better start today. You better start today because in 5 more years, I've got bad news. You're going to hate your job even more.
Exactly.
It's going to be the reason that you don't want to get out of bed in the morning, but you will have something that allows you to transition into something else. If you don't start today, there is 0 chance you will be done in 5 years. If you do start today, there is a decent chance you could be well down your path. Now, you might need to make other life adjustments, i.e. house hack and things like that. But these are all doable things depending on how badly you need out of the race. Yeah, and then that becomes your call. But you got to start somewhere. And the start isn't, and for all you Bitcoin boys out there, suck it. Just suck it. I get that it's up a ton. But you literally went from 113 to 83. No house has ever done that in the history of mankind except for at Chernobyl.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's the one of the things that I see out there again, a lot of the entrepreneurs out there, you know, Hermosi, Pineda, Gary Vee, all of those folks, they have a massive audience.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've come to understand is they're selling a vision of that life-changing money. And that's just not what rentals are, right?
No.
It's get rich slow. It takes a decade. The first 5 years suck. All things that all three of us have likely said 100+ times. We don't talk easy button. We don't talk replace your income. And that's another thing that I've gotten heat from out there is that's not what I'm selling, right? I'm not selling burn the boats, quit your job, you know, buy. Like if you quit your job, you're going to get worse rates. You know, you're not going to be able to really build anything.
Correct.
It's just a bad idea, right? Look at your job as the key to your future, not a prison, right? Don't decorate the cell. Get out, use the key and get out. So Dion, go ahead.
That's actually the one I was going to wrap up with is
cool.
To go along with Matt's statement of if you don't hate your job enough, you know, you're not going to take action. You're going to be stuck in it in 5 years. You're going to continue to hate it. But people spend too much time decorating the cell. And people underestimate how good we are at lying to ourselves.
Sure.
Most people that could invest and could reach financial freedom will say things like, well, if I get the promotion, that means I earned it. And I put on all the effort. So why would I work at walking away from the promotion? If I can get on the day shift instead of the night shift, my life will have more balance. And they'll start thinking of all these things with their job that they can improve the prison cell, the closeness they have with the work family, all of those things that make working bearable, but still something you have to be compensated to do. And that isn't filling your time, it's killing your time. And so if you can make your job a priority, why would you invest? Because investing isn't fun. It's not comfortable. It's not safe, right? Comfort is familiar. Freedom is a little scary. Have you ever, because I've had this recently and it bothers me. I have a friend who could retire in about a year. He hits the age where he gets a pension at his job. He's not an investor. He's going to have a pension. It's enough to retire on. And his wife stepped right into the middle of the conversation and said, nope, he can't retire. He's one of those personality types that always has to have something to do. So he's going to work another 10 years. And he's going along with it. That's his opinion. I have to have something to do. How sad is it if your life purpose, something you need to do, you have to be paid to do it? Like there aren't things in life you can do that you don't have to be paid for. Ouch.
Lift that hang there. That's rough. Matt, where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram, 9 p.m. Thursday nights Eastern time. And guys, thank you so much for all the support on the Bigger Pockets video. Team there was amazing. Video's done great. I think I had more people like that video than have liked every video on my channel combined. So really appreciate the community. Appreciate you guys efforting that, both of you guys and the community as well. So thank you guys. It was a great experience. It's always nice to see a return or a reward for the time spent. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Long time coming. Should have been done years ago, but glad it's been done. And I'm sure it'll be done again. Dion, where can they find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, I do a live stream that lasts as long as the questions do, even when I'm traveling. And you can find me on Amazon or Kindle with the book Financial Freedom for the Lazy Person.
And to let people know, Audible is coming. You are working on that.
The recording is done. Now it's just me battling ACX for however long that takes to get it up onto Audible and released.
Better you than me. Awesome, guys. Take care. Later.
Thanks, Mike.
Ciao.